Good afternoon, Amherst County School Community. This is Rob Arnold, Superintendent of Schools, and I would like to be one of the first to welcome you to your Thanksgiving break. It's been 11 weeks since school has started. I know sometimes it feels like it's been longer than that, but we have successfully made it through 11 weeks of school, and we are getting ready to start in essence, a 5-day vacation. And so I would like to spend some time in this video talking about where we've been, talk a little bit about where we're going, and just felt like it was a good time to come back. I know I haven't been on in one of these videos in quite some time, and that was in part by design. I wanted to make sure that the school communities were connecting to their home school of their children, and wanted you to hear from teachers and staff and principals, and I think that is going very well. But I'd like to also put my thoughts in at this time. And so as we have dealt with, as we've said many times, some really trying and unprecedented times, we're also at Thanksgiving, and the main important piece to Thanksgiving is showing gratitude and giving thanks. And I know there are a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress in the world, and it might feel difficult to provide thanks and gratitude. But I would like to do that right now, because I think it's important for people to understand how well we have done and what a good job we have done as a school community. So first, I want to thank students. Initially there was a lot of conversation about whether students would be able to follow our protocols, especially our kindergartners. And I will tell you, you guys have been amazing at doing everything that you needed to do for school to remain open. And so for that, I want to thank you. And I want to tell the kindergartnners, if you're listening, you guys have been superstars in wearing your mask and keeping your social distance and cleaning your hands. I'm really proud of all of you. I'm also really proud of the behavior of our students. We reported to our school board last week that we've only received 22 referrals in all 10 of our schools. That is unbelievable. And I believe it speaks to the fact that as students, you understand what you have to do to be in school, and school's important to you and you want to stay there. And so we thank you for that. And I also want to thank you for your attitude. It's not hard and it's not normal for you how we've asked you to go through the school year, but you've had a positive attitude, and I think that's going to take you a long way, and we're going to keep getting better at this, and we're going to get through it together. But I would like for you to keep that great positive attitude. One thing I do want to say to you students, though, however, is that I think sometimes we get lost in this idea of whether you're at school or you're at home. But I want to remind everybody that every day of the week you should be in school. You should be working in school, whether you're at home or in a building. That includes Fridays. Every day is a work day for you. And so keep that in mind as we move forward. I think sometimes we get lost in taking a day off here or there, but that's not the intent. You are being counted for being in school, and so we want you to make sure you're doing your work, whether that's while you're in the building or while you're at home. I'd like to also show my gratitude to parents. Parents, you have done an amazing job since March, quite frankly, in supporting your students while they were at home, supporting them in this new type of learning that they're having to get used to. I'd also like to thank you for your support of the school. All summer I asked for patience and grace, and you've continued to give that to us, and for that we are grateful. We understand that this is not only difficult for us as professionals, it's difficult on everybody in this community, especially parents, because you're trying to juggle several things at one time, and we are so blessed to have such a supporting school community. I also want to thank you for following the appropriate protocols as far as health is concerned. You've done a great job of making sure your students have stayed at home when they were ill. That you don't know how far that goes in helping us keep school open. So parents, you guys have done a great job. Thank you. And finally, I want to thank staff here in Amherst County Public Schools. You have been asked to change everything you know about education and do it rather quickly and learn a lot of new things. And on top of that, to meet the needs of every child every day. And you have done that. You continue to get better at that. I foresee great things in the future in terms of the way we're educating our students. And you guys have shown up every day to do what it takes to meet the needs of the students of Amherst County. And I know that they're blessed to have a group of professionals like you. So that's my way of saying thanks to the entire school community. And as hard as it may feel, and as negative as things feel around you, take the time in the next few days to find those things that you're thankful for and tell those people. Believe me, people want to hear that they're appreciated. And so that's why I wanted to share that with you guys. So let's move on to some informational things. It's to fill you in on some things that are going on and some things that are coming up. We always start with safety and COVID-19 updates, and we have, and I will say the last month has kind of looked like a roller coaster. 4 weeks ago, we were at about 26 cases per 100,000 per day. That's pretty high. That put us in a red zone. But over the course of about 2 weeks, we drove that down to 7 per 100,000, and this is in our community. Today, I checked this morning, and we're back up to 26. And as you are well aware, there is quite a bit of community spread, not only in Amherst County, but in Central Virginia and in the country as a whole. And so we are not immune from this, and we are dealing with it like others are. But I want you to realize that every time these numbers rise, leaders have to make decisions. And the governor came out a week or so ago and made some adjustments to his governor's orders that required mask wearing. We already do that. He also limited crowd sizes. And so, but as these cases continue to rise, there is also the possibility that he could stop school from happening in person. And so I just want everybody out there to be aware of those possibilities. As you know, we were sending out surveys and information. We were trying to get some information back, so we were prepared if we ever get to that point. I'm going to tell you right now, that is not our intention. We intend to remain in school. I contend that we are still a safe place for students to be. And I'll say this by saying that we've had positive cases that have come into our school, but to date, we have had 0 cases that were spread inside the school. They have all come from community spread. And that is a testament to the work of staff, students, parents, this whole community. And so I feel like students are safe and I want to stay in school, but sometimes I don't have that authority. And so I just want to make people aware that those are possibilities, and please just understand that we are preparing for that, but we don't want to do that. Now, one of the things we can do, though, on our part to prevent that is to make sure we continue to follow protocols. And I think this is a pretty timely occasion to have this conversation, in that Thanksgiving holiday is coming, and there is a strong desire to be with family, and be with family that you probably haven't seen for quite a long time. But I urge you, so we can stay in school, be careful, be mindful of the decisions you make as it pertains to the Thanksgiving holiday. We don't want to find ourselves 2 weeks from now in a position where all of our students have to be at home. Like I say, that is the last thing I want to do. So I want to urge everybody to please be careful and make wise decisions about your travels, about your get-togethers, and do the very best you can to control this spread. You might have read, and moving on from COVID, you might have read about some waivers that the state of Virginia has put out in regards to SOL testing. Now, there were quite a few, but I just want to go over the ones that are going to impact us right now. And so I want to make sure you hear exactly the way it was put out so you understand where we're going. So I'm going to do a little bit of reading, so I apologize in advance. But so the Virginia Board of Education has approved waivers specific to testing that have provided some flexibility with regards to certain SOL assessments, including the SOL writing assessment. So we'd like to explain how that flexibility with the writing test will be a benefit and how it will impact our testing. One of the waivers allows for us to use an alternate test to assess our students in writing. So instead of our students taking the SOL test in writing, we're going to be able to provide on many occasions an alternative assessment, which is called a performance-based assessment. We are going to offer that for first semester students who are in an English course in the 8th grade, both in ARA and in person, this performance-based assessment. This assessment is a local test which we created. It will be taken at home between November 30th and December 7th, and all the tests will be scored here locally by our teachers. All 11th grade students who are in an English class, and if you're an ARA, you will take a very similar grade-specific performance-based assessment as well at home from November 30th to December 7th. 11th graders who are in person, you will have a different test to take. It will not be the SOL test. It's called Work Keys, and you will take those during the SOL writing assessment day. Those days for A-Day students will be on December 2nd, and B-Day students will be on December 3rd. And then some dual enrollment students who are in the 11th grade, you'll take yours on December 4th. So that's the first set of waivers that impact us right now. Understand that none of our students in the grades 8 and 11 for writing will take the actual SOL test. You'll either do some form of performance-based assessment, or the students that are in the 11th grade that are in our buildings will take what's called the Work Keys assessment. And so those are the SOL waivers. We'll get more information to you as we come up on those occasions, but I will like to say this in advance. The state doesn't have complete control over SOLs due to federal regulations, but everything that the state has power over inside of our assessment, inside of the SOLs that they can change, they are changing, and they're changing them for the benefit of students. Second thing I want to talk about is, so we're 11 weeks in. We spent 3 weeks at the beginning of the year allowing for movement back and forth between the types of learning that you were doing, whether it was in person or remote. And so now that we had that 3-week window, all of our students are where they're going to be until the end of first semester. We made that clear earlier in the semester. But now we have to start thinking about second semester, and it's never too early to start planning for that. So on December 1st, we're going to start getting information out to you so you can start to think about it through the month of December. But we'll start getting that information out to you so you can start to determine for the second semester what choice of learning environment you want to make for your student. And then on January 4th through January 11th, we will put out an intent form for parents to enroll your student in whichever one they want to be in. So if you want to move from remote to in person, January 4th through the 11th is when you will complete a document called an intent form. So we will have the time to prepare for those changes. If you're in person currently and want to move to remote, you'll do the same thing. What I will tell you is on January 11th, if you've not made a selection, we're going to assume you want to stay exactly where you are, and we will schedule you accordingly. But we've told you from the beginning we would give you an opportunity in the second semester to change if you wanted to. And so I'm just informing you right now, of that option. So be thinking about it, and then look for some more information at the beginning of December, and then we'll ask for your choice in the first week or so of January. All right, so moving forward, a couple weeks ago, we put out a survey. Everything is different for us. The way we teach, the way we communicate, it's different. And so we need to know how we're doing. And we put out a rather large survey. And I'm happy to report that over 700 people have taken it to this point. It will be closed on Tuesday, tonight, as a matter of fact. It will close tonight, and we'll get those results, and we'll take those results to our school board at the December meeting and share those. But what I want you to know first, if you haven't taken it, please do so, because all of the information that we're getting from this, we're making adjustments that are going to make the learning outcomes for our students better. That's the whole point. If we're doing a good job at something, we need to continue to do it. But if we're not, we need to understand what we're not doing well, and we need to make those adjustments. And so some of the things that you'll be hearing more about in terms of adjustments are things to our grading procedures and practices, attendance procedures and practices, and also how we can provide more technology resources to make the at-home learning more efficient and effective. So be looking for those things. But I think the big key here is that we put out the survey because we wanted to hear from you, and we wanted your feedback. And I can promise you, we are changing things as needed. There's probably not a day that goes by that we don't fix something, that we don't hear from community and make a change that's ultimately going to be better for our students. So I want you to feel comfortable in providing those suggestions to us. Also moving forward, and it is something that I've been saying since March 13th, our communication is vital. How well we communicate with one another is what's allowing us to be successful and to get through. And so one of the first things I want to urge you to do is, if you have an issue, you have a problem, you're dealing with technology issues, or you have some issues with the type of classes you're taking, I urge you to call your school first. Call your teacher, have the conversation with the teacher. If it's not resolved there, call the principal. 99% of the time, our issues can be resolved at that place. But if it goes beyond that, certainly call the school administration office. We hear you. We will help you move forward and do the very best we can. But I urge you, instead of taking things to Facebook and putting things out there, I ask you first to go to your teacher and allow the teacher or the school to correct any problems, so we can be communicating in an appropriate way. And also, the other thing that I want to make sure we remember is that any major changes that will occur in Amherst County Public Schools will come from me. I will announce them. I've told you that since March 13th, and to this date, that's been true, and I intend for that to continue to be true. So if you don't hear it from me, don't jump to conclusions. I will get out information. If there are major changes coming our way, things that are going to impact our students, I will get that information out to you. I just think that's really important, because sometimes when false information gets out there, let's just say this, we're stressed enough. We have enough anxiety as a community, not to add to that by putting false information out. And so I hope that you have trust in me, that I'm going to continue to come to you with the important information, and I will do that. I'm committed to doing that. So thank you in advance for doing these things. So I want to leave you with one thought. I started this video with some gratitude. What I would ask you to do is, if you have the opportunity in the next few days, find something that you're thankful for. Find someone that you're thankful for. Tell that person. If it's an educator, please tell that person. They're working really hard, and it does so much good to tell people that you appreciate what they're doing. And so I want to leave you with that, I want to tell you once again, I am thankful for this community. I am proud of this community. I still hold us up as a model for public education in Central Virginia. We continue to be leaders in public education in Central Virginia, and we intend to stay that way. One of the things that we had the good fortune, and I do want to say this because if you haven't heard, Amherst County High School was voted the top public school in the region by the Best of in Lynchburg Living magazine. They were given that honor a couple of weeks ago. So in January, get that magazine. You'll see Amherst County High School. They were told that the creative ways in which they were dealing with COVID-19 and meeting the needs of children really stood out in Central Virginia, and that's why they received that honor. So I'm very proud of them, but I also know that our other schools could have easily won that award as well. So back to it, I'm thankful, and I'm really happy to enter this Thanksgiving season with the job I have and working for and serving the people that I serve. I wish you all the safety in the world and have a great holiday season. And we will see you back in school on Monday, November 30th. Have a great day.